Hi guys, Jake here, and today what we're going to do is continue on from our video previously, the PHP search engine, and we're going to add some styling to it. And the plan today is to get the end result similar to the Google homepage and search page, and we're going to use Bootstrap. Now Bootstrap is a CSS framework provided by Twitter. You can find the link at getbootstrap.com if you've got any more, if you've not used it before. And we're going to add some CSS into this page here, and also our results page. So as you'll remember from the last video, if we type in a query, it brings back a result. So the plan is to get this page and the previous one to look similar to the search page of Google. So what we're going to want to do first is if we go to Bootstrap CDN, so this will give us our link to the CSS file, so we don't have to host it ourselves necessarily. And what we're going to do, we're going to open that up and we're going to copy everything, all the CSS that's part of Bootstrap CSS. So we create a new file, paste it in there, and call it bootstrap.min.css. That's now saved. And then what we're going to want to do is add in a link and call it bootstrap.min.css. Now if we close that, we don't need that currently. Go back to the home page of that, and if we go back to our front page, you'll notice that the title's changed slightly. I mean, nothing massively has changed on here, but we'll add in those changes into our page here. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to add in a container, which is part of Bootstrap, and we'll give it a column 6. So class col md6. So this is going to be, there are 12 columns that you can use, and 6 is obviously half of that. So if we go ahead and we refresh that, and also add the content in, would be useful. Refresh that. You'll notice that we've got a little bit of content around the sides. So what we're going to want to do, we're going to push it over a little bit more. So we'll do col md offset 3. That will center the content. So that's in the center of the page. And we're going to want to go ahead and put our heading in there as well. So we save that, go back onto the page, and that's it in the center. So we'll change our top bit here, our header, and say this is called search. There we go. So what we're going to want to do is add a class. So we can add a new one in here called div.search, and move this over so it's a little bit more readable. Refresh that page, and you'll now notice if you use inspect, which is part of the Chrome tools, we've got a div which is containing our search, and it's got the class search. Now nothing's changed on here, so what we're going to want to do is create a new file. We'll call this one style.css. We want to include it into here and style.css. Now what we're going to want to do is copy that class, and we're going to text align all the content center. Now you'll notice nothing's changed, and because we can't simply just put in search, we need the dot. Now a dot is a class and an ID is a hash, like that. But we're not using IDs, we're using class. So search text align center will center all this content. Perfect. So already we're getting closer to this. What we're going to want to do then is we're going to say inside of the search, the header one, which is this H1 here, we'll give that a font size of 50. Let's have a look. So it's a little bit bigger, make it a little bit bigger more. So we'll say 60. Perfect. Now we want to add a little bit of space in between the search bar and the search text. So if we add a little bit of padding at the bottom, 20 pixels, There we go. Already it's getting there. So on this homepage of Google, they've got the search bar at the top and then Google search at the bottom, the buttons down there. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to say inside of our search, the input field, which is this field here, we're going to take off the border, because on the Google it's got a shadow. Oh, it has got a little bit of border. Give it a border of almost white, like that, so it's really white. Add a little bit of padding as well. There you go. And we're going to add a little bit of shadow, so you can use box shadow and make it almost black. There we go. So then our button, which is here, our search button, we're going to want to say search button, and to put it on a new line we do display block. So we refresh that. Now let's have a look at our search. So our form is the full width. If we set the input to be full width as well, because it's currently not, so it fills the area, and refresh, there we go. And our button, if we do that one as 100% width as well to fill the area, you can see it's filling the full width, but on the Google's page they've literally just got it in the center there. So what we're going to want to do here is add in a row and then div md6. This doesn't work for some reason. Div class col md6, and then we're going to add the button in there. So if we do change that to 5 md offset, so it's going to be the size of 5 columns and it's going to offset it 1. Perfect. So if we were to copy that and paste it below and put I'm feeling lucky, that's how that works. So if we just take off the offset on that one, we've got ourselves the search buttons. So if we put in a class here called search buttons, like that, we can now add a little bit of padding between the search input field and the buttons themselves. Give it a margin top at 20, and there we go. So the buttons on this page, they don't have any border, so we'll take the border off the search buttons. We can get rid of this now, and search buttons, and then button. Take off the border, see how that looks. Okay, add the width back on. Okay, add a little bit of padding. Okay, and make it bold. You'll notice that they're slightly grey, so we'll give it a colour of 6 hexadecimal. Okay, and make it slightly lighter grey. Oh, let's try that again. A little bit more. That'll do. Perfect. So now the hover effect on there is when you roll over it, you get the border. So what we're going to want to do is copy this section here. We're going to say on hover border 1 pixel solid and make it the same colour as the text. So we try that, refresh, maybe a little bit lighter. There we go. Notice there's a little jump in this, so what we can do to get around this is if we keep the border but we make it the same colour as the background, then we don't get the jumping buttons. There's also a little bit of border on this, so we can add a little bit of border onto ours and say border radius 3 pixels. Just add a little bit of a border there. That works quite nice. Now if you wanted to, you could add an image into the page if you wanted to, and they use, instead of the search, we could put an image in here. And get rid of our search. But obviously we're not building Google, so we'll keep our current one. So that's the first page done. Now if we were to search for a product, Apple, search, we get our results page. Now so our home page styled up pretty nicely. We can now start working on this page. So we search for Apple here. What we're going to want to do is we're going to add in a column and offset it maybe 2 columns to add that little bit of border in there, and we're going to list out our products or our results. So we're going to want to copy our styling links into our results. What we're going to want to do is edit this section here, add in the HTML5, and copy this whole section, paste it in here, and results for, and then we can print out what our search query was, which is search. So if we refresh this page, results for Apple, so if we were to change it to money, results for money, and obviously our content is showing up here, it should be down here, so we can fix that now. So all we need to do is, we just hide these for the moment, just comment those out, and at the top here we've got our search, so we can add our search back in, but for the time being we're just going to show the results. So if we get rid of all of this from our results page, we'll keep the container, see how big the container is. Okay, well that's actually enough, so we can probably work with just the container there. So if we create another div, give it a class of 12, which is the full width, and inside of that we're going to list our each item. So if we do a H1 and Apple, just going to add some dummy content in here. And see how that looks on the page. Yeah, it's a little bit too big, so if we change that to a H4, make it a little bit smaller. Okay, that seems a little bit better. And then underneath we're going to have a p tag with the link in, like that, and another p tag with this is apple.com. Now you'll notice there's less space in between the text of these, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to put all of this content here inside of a result container, like that, and inside our style sheet, because we've included it in this page, we're going to say result and then H4, or is it H4? Yes. Margin bottom 0, so if we refresh, and then also we want the same for our result p tag. Okay, so now if we want to identify the link, we had a class in here called link, give this one a class of title, and this one a class of description. Okay, so what we're going to want to do also is make this into a link as well. A link, and we refresh, that's turned blue, similar to the colour of Google's. I want to use this green here, so if we find out what this green colour is through the inspector, we can say on the result p link, it's a result p tag link, we can say result p link, and the colour is the same, exactly the same colour as that. Refresh, it's exactly the same colour. We'll copy the colour from this one as well, 609, and that's for the title, H4 title. So if we do results H4 title, and the colour is the blue, similar to Google's. H4 title, because it's an A link inside of it, let's have a look, let's close this. Because there's an A link inside of it, we need to say the A. So refresh that, and it's the same colour. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to loop through all of those results. So we go to the results page, and in here we're going to say add some PHP tags. If result number of rows, so if the number of rows is greater than 0, close it here. Else we will show a p tag that says sorry, no results found. If we save that, search, there we go, result number of rows. Because there are no results for money, obviously there are no results found. If we put in apple, it should show the apple result. So then what we're going to want to do is we're going to loop through while a is equal to result fetch associative array. So we're going to loop through all of the found items, and we're going to replace, similar to the last tutorial, we're going to replace all of this content with the content from our database. So we're going to say title and URL. Also this is URL as well. And the description. So now if we go back to the home page, we type in money, we don't get any results, which is right. But if we put in apple, we don't get any results either. So let's see what we've done wrong here. So okay, for some reason it's working again. So there we go, working. So if we go back and let's have a look what's in our database. Let's log back in. Results, if we search for Amazon, there we go, Amazon, Apple products on Amazon. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to add in the last section here, we're going to add in our top bar to search again. So what we're going to do is, this is full width. So what we're going to want to do is create another div, give it a class of col md12, just see what it looks like in the page. Okay, so that's full width there, and we're going to give this a search again. So this is slightly grey. So if we add in a search again class, which is what we just created before, search again with the background colour of really light. So that's not really light, this is really light. So there we go. Now if we just add in a row, because it's causing it to have a little bit of white padding at the sides, so if we do div.row, add that back in, save again, that's it. You'll notice that we've got a little scroll here, so all we can do in our style is right at the top, if we do body and HTML, or HTML and body, margin none, padding none, width 100%, and height 100%. Okay. Just for the sake of the tutorial, we'll also do an overflow X hidden. So that takes off the scroll bar at the top there. So now in our search again, we're going to add some padding. Okay, so it's getting closer. And then inside of here, we're going to add in another div, and we're going to say it's a 3. So it's going to take 3 off of this. Div col md3. And it's going to be h1 search. Search. Oh, that doesn't like that. Add in the row again. Search. And take the padding off of the search again box because it's adding too much padding. There's a margin even, sorry. So I'll take off the margin search. And then if we add in another div, which will be 12 minus 3, which is 9. Column D9. Add in again our input. Text, and what was the name of the input? It was called query. Query here. Was there a class on it? No. Okay, save that. So now we've got our query box. Now the search box, this section, is filling the rest of the screen, as you can see there. So if we want to add a little search button at this side, we can just make that a little bit smaller and say it's 6, and then create another div, md6, oh, 3 even. So we've got a 3, a 6 and a 3, so that adds up to 12. So then we're going to add in a button, type search, same as our submit, same as our button on our other page, and it's going to say search. So if we refresh our page, it's now added it. So we've got a 3, a 6 and a 3. So we need to add the styling back in for the button. So if we say search again button, that should add in the styling for the button. Notice how it's got the same background colour on the button as it does for the background colour of the background itself. So if we just make it a little bit lighter, make it even white actually. There we go, search. It's a little bit bigger, that one. So if we make it a little bit smaller, let's say 2. That's perfect. And we also copy the same input styling. So search again, input. So it fills the screen, so there we go. And we want to center this text here. So what we can do is we can add in, inside of this section, text center, which is part of Bootstrap. So I'll center this text here. And obviously all of this is going to need to be wrapped inside of a form so we can submit it. So method is get, same as our home page. Action, actually we don't need an action because it's the same page. So we save that and refresh. We can also then, so if we type in Apple, refreshes for Apple. So what we can do, because we've already searched something, we can make it appear in this box, so we can just edit our search. So we can say value, and we'll put in our search variable. Lost it, there we go. Search. So it says Apple. So we change that to Amazon. It'll keep the text inside the box and it'll just bring our result. So if we just add a little bit of padding as well on this section here, just at the top. So we add in a little class. Actually, we'll add in an ID here just to show how IDs work. So an ID only applies to one thing on the page. You can't have more than one ID because the whole point of having an ID is that it's an identifier. It identifies something, so you can only identify it once. So our ID is results. And the way that we use that in CSS is if we go down to the bottom, instead of using a dot results, we can spell it results, we change that to a hash because it's an ID. So if we do padding top 20 pixels, when we refresh, it's add a little bit of padding on there. So results there, it's added some padding. So we can add a little bit more, let's say 30 pixels. Perfect. If we just close our inspector, and if we make our search text here go back to the home page, we can add in a link here, and it's going to go to index.php. It's going to say search. So it's gone different color. So if we click that, it goes back to our page. If we just want to take off that styling from there, so if we do search again H1, we want to get rid of that color. So we do color inherit. So it's back to how it was. We also want to get rid of that border from the bottom when we hover over it. So we copy that section again, and we do hover. Text decoration is what we use, none. So it doesn't add any decoration to the text. So it'll just allow us to click it. So we click that, search for Facebook, there's no result. If we change it back to Amazon, click search, we get our Amazon results. So just for the sake of adding a little bit more CSS, we can add a little bit of padding below these sections here. So our results are listed through like this. So what we do is we copy with the results class and add it in the results. It doesn't matter where you put the class in the page, this is just for the sake of keeping it cleaner. So we do margin bottom 20 pixels, adds a little bit more spacing. We add a little bit more, there we go. So now that's our page styled up a little bit. So if we take a look at Google's homepage, just get rid of this, and our homepage, it's not massively dissimilar. I mean, it does need a little bit more styling on it, but you can see the similarities there. So if we do a search for Amazon, get our results box at the top with our content in the center there. Search in here, Amazon, get our results box at the top with our little shadowing on there, similar to this one, and our results in here. So it is quite similar. And there we go. That's how you add some CSS to your page. Thank you very much. See you later.